Alright, so we were down here in the... Alright, so we're down here in the basement, and basically I have this paper, and this is like the exact same thing that I wrote for the original ones of these videos. So basically, first thing that we're going to be working on is punching correctly. So basically, you have your jab, and you have your hook, you have your uppercut, and you have your overhand right or your overhand left. Okay, so basically, pretty much punching correctly. Now, this is very, very, very crucial in your boxing ability. So, we all have, when you're in a boxing fight, you can't really see a person's technique. All you can see is their hands flying, okay? And that doesn't mean that they don't have technique. That just means that, they're punching really fast. So, first we're going to work on jabs. So we're going to work on different ways to punch correctly. And an uppercut is really not a standard punch. You don't need that to win a boxing fight. That's just a way to deter your boxing enemy, so your opponent. So basically, punching correctly, and this is everything that I've been going over every day in my mind, just thinking about how I can, make myself better, just in self-quarantine, due to the state of the world. So basically, punching correctly. So your jab. So I see a lot of people, they have, when they box, and they're just amateurs and they haven't had a fight before, or even if they don't do it for a while and they're not into it, they have their hands either too high like this, and they do that, they're not, and they just swing. You're not getting any force or any pressure like that. Or they have their hands too low and they're like that. Or they're hunched over like this, and they have their hands like this, and they're doing that. What's this? What's this? The good way to do it, and I'm actually going to put on the gloves in a minute and show you guys this. A good way to do it is to have your, like, I'm a southpaw. I have my right foot forward, okay, and my left foot stationary. Good way to do that is to have your get in your stance, whether it's your left foot forward, which would mean it's like this. You'd have your left hand forward. You always have your striking hand forward, or you have you're the other way, like a southpaw, like I said. Anyway, so you have your hands like this, okay? You got to bring them up. Don't put them too far apart, because then that just leaves your face open. With the gloves, there's like 3 to 4 inches more of padding, so nobody's gonna get through to your face if you have them up like this. So don't worry about that. They may try, but we're gonna get into that later. So basically, you got your hands up like this. You're blocking. So this is how I usually block. I block. My blocking position is also my attack position, and that sometimes works for some people. So you have to have your hands up like this, ready to go, and you gotta punch straight. Don't curve your arm out and go like that. I even in some of my friends that I've boxed, I see that. You don't want to do that. So basically, and if you guys want to follow along, if you guys are looking for a boxing career or just doing this to stay in shape, you guys might need to do this for that, or you might need to do this every day. And I'm doing this for some of my friends who are semi-interested in boxing and want to get better. And I'm doing this for everyone who wants to get better, and they're circling across the recommended section, and they're just looking at this. So what you do is you have your arms up like this, and you punch forward. You reach forward. And sometimes it's best when when you really want to knock somebody out, you can step into your punch, okay? So if I had a way to go out further, I'd do that, but a good way is you can step into your punch. Or you don't have to do that, and it can just be like a bah. Just gonna be an easy jab. Or you could follow it up with a combo. You can go at jab, cross, uppercut. So it can be that. So that's that. Punching correctly. Now, that's that. Now, the next punch that we can learn to punch correctly is the hook. Okay? So, I see a lot of people who are boxing that are just street boxers, that they don't want to train or do anything. They just fight on the day that they fight. Basically, what they do is they just swing. They just swing their arm. Like, when I first started fighting, that's what I did. But there's an actual technique, and there's an actual way to do that. So, what I'm gonna tell you how you do this. So what you do is you go like how we were originally. Everything starts from this core position. So since everything starts from this core position, you're going to be in this the most of the fight. And when you're walking around, and when you're when you're getting into this and you're jumping around, that's how you're going to stay the most of the time. And nobody is the same as one boxer. Everyone has a different position, a different way that they box. So anyway, back to what we're saying. So you go like this. You get in your core position. You get in your core position, how you usually are. So you get in your core position, and so your arm is eventually gonna go down like this before you get into a hook. So you do like that, and then you go like this. It's a nice clean shot. So you go boom, boom. It's not just a random swing. It's a coordinated throw. It's a side throw. So you're pivoting like this. All right. So you're pivoting like that, and you're making sure that on the pivot you plant your foot that's not dominant, so you have enough force. Low battery warning on there. So you plant your foot so that it's not dominant, so you have enough force. So you go bang. It's all off the pivot. Your power in the hook comes off your pivot. How fast you are. You can also use your legs to generate stuff. And the next thing that we're gonna be talking about is footwork. But first, I want to show you guys how that throw. Well, at the end, I'm going to show you how these different throws and these different combos look in the gloves. I'm not going to do anything with the gloves in this episode yet. I think I'm going to do this into a 3-part series. And this is teaching you all the knowledge that I know off of 2 years of boxing. But, hey, I'm not that experienced either. I'm just here making a video to talk to you guys about what I know in boxing and how I'm good at my craft. Boxing is a craft, and I'm dedicated to making it better. So we're going to talk about footwork. So say that this is my right side. It might look like your right side if you're watching it. This is my left side. Okay, now not the TikTok dance. Okay. Anyway, this is my right side. If somebody throws a punch at my right side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant my left foot right here, and I'm gonna direct my right foot out of the way. So sorry if you hear the cats making noise. So if somebody throws a punch, like say they're gonna throw a jab, say they're gonna throw a jab at me. You gotta get that cat out of the way. Say if they're gonna throw a jab at my right side. Basically. So say if they're gonna go throw a jab at you, you plant on your left foot or your less dominant foot. So you plant on your left foot if you use your right hand as the primary throw. So you'd plant your left foot, okay, and you would move your right foot out of the way like this. And then once it's out of the way, you can readjust your legs so they're stationary and they're back in that form. And then you can catch them with an uppercut. You can catch them with a jab. You can catch them with a left hook behind the head or a right hook right to their face. So you can do a lot of stuff there once that's there. So, but now I'm going to cover it if you're like this, and your right foot is not your dominant foot and your left foot's your dominant foot. So basically what you do then is you plant your right foot. It's basically the reverse. So you plant your right foot and you move like this, and then you get back into your primary, and then you can go and do whatever. So that's that. So that's working on the footwork. Now, if you guys want to go do all this work at home, you guys can. That's part of the reason why I'm making this video, because to help you guys do whatever, yada, yada, yada. Because you guys, athletes, boxers, whatever, you guys may be looking for something like that. So now, punch combos. So we've already discovered the jab, okay? We've discovered the hook. We've discovered the uppercut. I haven't talked much about the uppercut, but basically, that's our first combo. So you can do a jab, then you can do a hook, and then you go under, pull your hand back up to your blocking position. Once it's back up to your blocking position, you can go up and do an uppercut. And you can do it reversed, just if you're the other way, and you can learn that other way. But there's also the cross. So this is a jab, okay? And then you're crossing over that jab. So it's jab, and then you bring your as soon as you let that other hand go, as soon as you let your hands fly, you jab like this. Okay, this hand's already back. Then you bring this hand back, so it's like a jab cross. So it looks like this. So if you're just gonna do a jab cross as a punch combo, that's known as a 1-2. So this is a jab cross. So I'm gonna get comfortable and get in my position. I might be bouncing around for a bit. So here we go. And you know, I'm moving my hands around. That's a bad habit that I've developed. You don't want to move your hands around that much because that's called telegraphing. You're telegraphing your hand, and the hand that you move around the most when you're boxing is the hand that you're going to strike with first. I always strike with my right, or I always try to. That'd be weird if I started out with my left. I don't know, but it just depended because I can switch in between, being an orthodox fighter with your left hand forward and like this to being a southpaw. How I normally fight, which is southpaws are the strongest types of boxers anyway. So that's one punching combo. And then you can also do an uppercut. You can do an uppercut, and then you can do a cross, and then you can do a hook, and then you can do a cross, and then you can do a jab. So it's bop, bop, and dot, dot, and then dot. So, but there's countless punching combos you can do. I'm just telling you those types of punching combos so you can get that down. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about uppercuts. So you see these boxers doing the workouts that are like this. So they're doing the uppercuts. They don't have to be round like this. You always see the Notre Dame mascot. He's looking like this from the side. Okay. You don't have to do that. Usually they're straight up and they're fluid flowing with your hip motion. Your hip motion is what's gonna cause the uppercut force. So you go like bah, or you can go like bang. So you go or you can do a double one if you're that quick. If you're going so you can do that. And you can use them in your combo. So you can do a jab and then a cross and then follow up with an uppercut as you're blocking your face if they try to throw one. Now the overhand right or the overhand left, which instead of doing a jab, it's like a more wild one. It's like if you guys go watch Logan Paul and KSI boxing, that is an overhand right. KSI throws him and it makes him look like he's throwing a windmill. So if you throw him, it's kind of like all the weight on there put on and it's supposed to hit in this general area. That's not good. I wouldn't advise that. In a boxing match, I would only do that if I was in a dire situation and I needed a way to deter my enemy. You guys saw when I boxed Alex. Alex did that a lot. I didn't know how to handle it, so that's why you got to keep your hands up 24/7. You can't fight with your hands at your waist and do nothing. Next thing we're talking about, hydration. Hydration is key if you guys are going to stick with the sport of boxing and if you're going to stick with being dedicated to it. Hydration is also important if you're running a certain boxing camp or if you're just in a match. You have to drink water in between every single 30-second break in between the rounds, or however long the breaks are. If you are not as experienced, you can take a 10-minute break in between and be hydrated for the next round. So that's my advice for that. And next thing is staying fit is a great way to boxing is another way of staying fit. So that's the first episode for you guys. The next episode I'll put on the gloves and I might be hitting some things, and we'll talk about counter punching. We'll talk about counter punching there. So thank you guys all for watching. If you guys enjoyed this, leave a fat like down below. Thank you guys all for watching. See you later.